Hello YouTube. Got this great big old 070 up on my little table today, and I'm going to swap out the carburetor for this. I've been wanting to do this for some time. And it's rainy and cold, and I've got the workspace down here heated up, so we'll go for it. Also got some new fuel line that I'm going to replace as I go. So I'm going to stop the video and I'm going to remove this huge bar and empty the fuel out of the tank. And we'll come back and we'll get started. I tell you what, the bar, that Cannon bar, and the chain that goes on it is about half the weight of the saw itself. But I blew it, so there's you know, not much there that I need to worry about getting in the cylinder or anything. And I'm going to sit here and ponder on this a little bit, but from just looking at it, we've got the governor over here, and I'll need to disengage that, and I believe I take the screw out here would be the easiest way to release this, because it's set all the way back. And I got all the gas out, because when I put this on, I had to flip it up and set it in my lap, and put the nuts on it, and you know, to get them started, to get them kind of, let gravity help me, because it's really close. That's my recollection. So I would imagine I'll probably have to do it to, you know, wherever I put it back on. Okay, well we'll take the next step here and go forward. Well, that is one tiny surf clip that holds that on. That is tight as a little black dress. Sorry. That's not very tight. Well, I don't know a lot about hose. I'd say okay, we ran into a hiccup here, and excuse me. Okay, so we need to set up the, I've got the as you can see, I've got the carburetor off. This is the OEM, the HL-324A, and they had a Geely on it. And one thing I noticed, there is not very much room to get the nut started. Well, there's a few millimeters. The OEM is a few millimeters thinner than this one, which would give me a little more room to get the nut started. So I think that's, I look forward to that. Okay, so one of the things is we've got to set this up, the carburetors got to be changed. Let's see, how does this go? Okay, like that. When it's installed. Okay, so like that. Okay. Oh, let me get this tuned in. Well, that's only like a half. That was only half. All right. So So that is closed. And the manual says one full opening, which would be there. I love that little dumb thing, little circle. It really just helps. So, okay, so let's see where we are on that. That was about 3/4 on that. Okay, so there we are. We're on one open on that. That probably would just pull straight up. I can't grip it to pull on it. So I'll just work it up like this. Okay. You know, that H screw looks slightly larger to me in circumference. And I guess that one on the right does too, I guess. It's going to be a week before I can get the fuel hose. They didn't have anything. I had to order it. Guess I can store that in here. Okay, so let's put this big puppy up here and so had a little bit of a problem, but overcame it. The problem was the little flap here. The screw did not want it. It's the wrong size or threads or something, but it didn't want to take the screw. So it would go in a certain amount, but it wouldn't go any further. Well, you know, I was afraid I was going to strip it. And I happened to have some 3/16 washers, lock washers, which went great. behind the screw, so it's fixed. You know, it's going to work fine. But that was a head scratcher. But here, as you can see, there is a lot of room compared to what there was before, and this is where I have trouble. Trying to get the screw started on there. And as I said before, that's where I'm going to have to do the same thing and turn that baby I'm sure your young fingers won't have a bit of trouble with it. Let's see if we can do it this way. Okay, well, you see my dilemma. So I'm going to struggle with this off the camera because it's not going to help you. But that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to put the two nuts on there. Okay. So as you can tell, I've got them started, and that's exactly how I did it. And then you just take your time, as much time as it takes, and get those tight. Be back with you. Okay, so took the 10mm open in and got those all tightened down. The throttle's operating great. So it's done. It's changed out. Now I do not have a line, and I do not have the governor attached. So what I'll do is, these are one turn out, so that, you know, be a great starting point. So I'll leave this off, crank it up, tune my low side, tune the high to 12,000, stop, attach the governor back, and, you know, that'll drop it to 8. And so it wasn't hard as it looked. And, you know, if you get in there and you look, there's a lot more room, you know, several millimeters, which I think is kind of neat, because it's already so close. All right. So that's more fun with the FarmerTec 070. Hope you find it helpful. Please like and subscribe. The chainsaw kit guy out. Thanks. YouTubers, I'm adding this to my video, and I can't really tell where I would have adjusted everything. I'm just going to leave the video like it is and show you what I found. After changing the carburetor and hooking it back up, I found that this plate right here would not wasn't working right. In other words, this was wide open, and of course, you know, we can't have that. And I remembered going, hey, you know, this plate's thinner, and you know that's going to give me more room here. But I think actually what happened is it threw the geometry off of the linkage. So anyway, there's a second hole there, and by using that, this works perfectly. Now, of course, I need to get the hose that won't leak on it, but you know, which will come soon. But that was the darndest thing. I spent a good amount of time trying to make it work like it was supposed to. Now, and another thing is, when it's off in the second hole, your trigger lock doesn't work. Or it doesn't seem to. So I've got to, it was late last night whenever I finished the video, and I need to sit down and look and see exactly what's off and by how much. But all this seems to operate, you know, perfectly now, and I'm not worried about the trigger lock. I could drill it and still have it work. I'd very much rather have the OEM carburetor on there. But I thought that was interesting, and it was definitely something that was, you know, I felt got to know about, so that when you ran into it, you didn't spend an hour and a half looking at it wondering, you know, what's going on here. Okay, thanks again, YouTube.